our feet, so let's stand for the National Anthem and afterwards remain standing for a moment of silence.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Emily. That's Emily Ross, one of our students, for her beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Now for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. There are seats in the back. Anyone standing in the back can take those unoccupied seats. Thank you for joining us today as we recognize the accomplishments of the 2017 East Central University graduates. We like to recognize all of those in the audience who are special to us. If you are a veteran who has served this country, please stand and let us thank you for your service. Thank you. There are many people in the audience who are alumni of this great institution. Let us stand, please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you. Please be seated. Students, you couldn't have gotten here without some support. So if you are a parent, a guardian, a spouse, a child, a grandparent of one of today's graduates, please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you. ECU has dedicated faculty who are experts in their fields. Will the faculty please stand and let us recognize you? Thank you for all that you do for our students. Will the distinguished guest on the platform please stand as I introduce you and remain standing? And audience, this is a tough one, audience, hold your applause until all are introduced. On my left, Dr. Rick Gretzinger, Associate Professor of Communication and Performance Studies, Director of Theater, and today's announcer. Dr. Shirley Mixon, Professor and Director of the Bachelor of General Studies program and the Senior Faculty Member. Dr. Brenda Sherborne, Acting Dean of the School of Graduate Studies and Dean of the College of Education and Psychology. On my right, Regent Connie Riley, whom I will more fully introduce later. Mr. Craig Shieff, our commencement speaker today, who will be introduced more fully later. And Dr. Adriana Lancaster, Acting Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Let's thank them for their contributions. Regent Riley from Okemah was appointed to the Board of Regents for the Regional University System of Oklahoma in 2007 for a 9-year term. And she was reappointed by Governor Fallin to serve an additional 9-year term. She is a terrific regent, I think the hardest working regent, but don't tell the others I said that. And we are delighted she continues to represent us. It's now my pleasure to welcome to the podium for comments Regent Connie Riley.
On behalf of the Regional University System of Oklahoma Board of Regents, I sincerely want to congratulate the ECU graduates of 2017. You know, this outstanding faculty and staff that we have at East Central, your president, Dr. Pearson, and I, we serve and do what we do because of this day. It is the most important thing in higher education. And again, I want to congratulate you and thank you for allowing me to be just a small portion of this day. Now, you're thinking, she must be nuts. That's home plate. And I know it's home plate. But this is not just home plate. This is a visual for me. This is a prop. I taught school for years, and my students always remembered what I was trying to say to them if I had a prop. All right. I know you're not going to remember what I say anyway. I won't remember what I said, but I'm going to give it a good try. All right. Do you know how wide home plate is in Little League Baseball? 17 inches. How about high school baseball? How wide is home plate? 17 inches. Now, Coach Risotto, your baseball coach here at ECU, if I asked him how wide was home plate, I think he's going to say, I know he's going to say, 17 inches. Let's go to the majors and the minors, professional ball. How wide is home plate in professional ball? 17 inches. And did you know that the first person who ever stepped on home plate stepped on a 17-inch home plate? Babe Ruth played Little League, and he stepped on a 17-inch home plate. And today, when the Houston Astros just won the World Series, they stepped on a 17-inch home plate. Now, let's say that Coach Risotto had a great player, but that player could not hit a 17-inch. He's a pitcher, and he can't hit 17-inch home plate. What's he going to do? He's going to bench that player, or he's going to suggest another sport. What he's not going to do is say, Jimmy, don't worry about it. You can't hit 17 inches. I'm going to make it 20 inches for you to make it easier for you. And you be sure and let me know, because if 20 inches isn't enough, I'll make it 25. He's not going to do that. If his best player doesn't show up for practice, is always late, if they have a rule that says you can't have facial hair and he's got a huge beard and hair down to his waist, he's going to hold that player accountable. He's not going to change home plate. If there's one thing that this visual helps you remember about what I say today, it's this. In this world, if we don't hold ourselves accountable to the high standard that we know is right, if we don't hold our marriages and our children and our educational systems, our churches, our institutions, our government, if we don't hold them accountable to the standards that are right. If we are unwilling or unable to provide a consequence when they don't hold themselves to the standard, when they don't make themselves accountable, when they don't serve the people they're supposed to serve, I'm afraid we have one thing ahead in this country. Dark days. This is what our country, our wonderful country, could become. You graduates can fix that. Go out there and don't widen the plate. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Riley. Our speaker today, Craig Shieff, is the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Texas Security Bank. He is also an alumnus of ECU. Let me share a bit of his story. After graduating from Plano Senior High School in 1981, a football scholarship brought Craig to East Central University. In 1984 and 1985, Craig was named to Who's Who among college and university students and was named Academic All-American in football his junior and senior year. His grade point average each semester placed him on the Dean's and President's honor rolls. Craig was elected co-captain of ECU's 84-85 football team, which ranked number 1 nationally in the small colleges category at the end of the regular season. And he was all-district his junior and senior seasons. Craig graduated from ECU with a Bachelor of Business Administration and Marketing in 1985. In 2005, Craig received the Milam Award, which is presented annually to a distinguished ECU football alumnus who has excelled in his chosen vocation. In 2016, Craig received the Distinguished Service Award from ECU and the Entrepreneur of the Year Award from ECU's Stone Cipher School of Business. Craig graduated graduate school at the University of North Texas, receiving his MBA in finance in May of 1988. He excelled while at UNT, graduating in the top 5% of all MBA students. In June of 1988, Craig accepted a commercial credit training position with First Interstate Bank, a predecessor of Wells Fargo. During his last 5 years at Wells Fargo, Craig managed a team of middle market lenders. In March of 2003, Craig accepted the position of Community Bank President for Bank of Texas, a subsidiary of BOK Financial. In 2004, he was promoted to President of Business Banking for the Dallas and Houston markets, having responsibility for 7 community banks in those cities. In April of 2007, Craig left Bank of Texas to begin the process of obtaining the regulatory approval and raising capital for an independent bank focused on the needs of people who exercise their right to free enterprise, that is, to those independent business owners. In May of 2008, Texas Security Bank began operations with $26.5 million in new capital and has now grown to total assets of $420 million, with locations in Dallas, Garland, and Farmers Branch. His bank has been recognized as one of the fastest growing and most profitable independent banks in the United States. Of nearly 7,000 banks, according to depositsaccounts.com, they rank Texas Security Bank at number 5 for the healthiest bank in America. And that was featured in Forbes magazine and Dallas Business Journal. Craig is married to Christy, his wife of 29 years. And in addition to spending time with their dog Hugo, his friends, his family, Craig and Christy enjoy snow skiing, sporting events, and volunteering their time to various East Dallas nonprofit organizations. I know personally that Craig is an avid reader and has recommended many good books to me. And he's a model alumnus. He comes back frequently. He gives of his time, talent, and resources. Please give a warm welcome to Craig Shieff.
You may be seated, right? I started watching commencement speeches on YouTube when President Pearson asked me to do this, and it always started, you may be seated, but you guys are already seated. Thank you, President Pearson, Provost Lancaster, Regent Riley, deans, faculty, and most importantly, thank you to the amazing class of 2017. Please give yourselves a hand. I have the deepest appreciation for East Central University. They paid for my college. I always knew that I would have to pay for 100% of my college. I have an older brother and an older sister. They paid 100% of their college. I knew I was going to have to. So I have deep appreciation for that. I also have appreciation for the education that I received here. As President Pearson mentioned, I went to the University of North Texas immediately after going to East Central, and got my master's, and I had some intrepidation about being in classes with students who were already executives in businesses from the University of Texas, from Baylor, from SMU, and I was amazed at how good of education I got here. So I hope you guys don't take for granted the education you have. You will see as you get out there in the work world how prepared you've been by the quality of education from East Central. So I'm appreciative of that. I'm very appreciative of being able to play on a football team, the only football team in East Central University history that had a 10-1 record in the regular season. We came in as freshmen, and we were on a 2-8 team, which was very rough, and we stuck it out. We became 5-5, 7-3, and as President Pearson mentioned, we were ranked #1 nationally. I have deep appreciation for Gerald Williamson, who was my academic advisor while I was here, for Ron Miller and Coach Pat O'Neill, who gave me a scholarship. Deep appreciation. And I also have appreciation for, actually, as you'll hear here in a minute, East Central was where I developed my love for learning and curiosity. I learned how to study here, which paid great dividends later on in academia and in my job. And so I know there's a tradition here that when somebody says, "Once a Tiger," you say, well, what does that mean? Have you thought about that? And what it means is there is a loyalty there. That's a longer way of saying loyalty that's born out of deep appreciation. So once a Tiger, always a Tiger. When I first came to East Central, I had a big fear of losing my scholarship. They only gave 18 scholarships in football at that time. And it wasn't that I was an average student in high school, it's that I was a very poor student in high school. I didn't study, I just played football, and the other reason I had a fear of losing my scholarship was I came down with an illness after I had signed my commitment to play at East Central while I was still in high school. And they didn't know what it was. They still don't know what it was, but it scared the doctors enough that they asked me to do exploratory surgery, which I did. And so I showed up to East Central. I was already a skinny offensive lineman, and I weighed about 185 pounds. And so when I showed up, the coaches were surprised, and I was weak. And so I had this fear, and out of that fear, I decided, what can you do? And I developed this routine where I had all my classes scheduled the first half of the day. So I'd get up, eat breakfast, go to class, go to lunch, and then I'd come back to the dorm and take a nap, and then I'd go to football practice, and then dinner, and then I would be in the Lynn Shed Library from 7 to 10 every night. Even if I didn't have stuff to study, I was going to study ahead, and that was all born out of desperation that was created by the fear of losing my scholarship. And if I didn't take a nap, we got any nap takers in here, students? Love good nap? If I didn't take my nap, I'd get up to the library, and because football practice was always pretty rigorous, I'd fall asleep. And sometimes you wake up in a puddle of your own drool, so take that nap. So anyway, and as a result of that, my first semester, I made the dean's list. It absolutely shocked me. And I made the dean's list, and I was excited about that. And I shared it with my brother. I have an older brother who's brilliant. School always came easy to him. He's a fine attorney in Dallas. He encouraged me to, hey, just keep doing that, and you'll eventually, you may have the opportunity to become an academic All-American. And my academic advisor, Dr. Williamson, echoed that. And it was funny that I got it from two different people. They both had that suggestion. And so I was able to achieve that, and it was a goal. So looking back on that situation of my first semester here at East Central, there's two things that I took away from it. Number one, in subsequent in life, I think it's been confirmed, there are really only two things that causes people to change their behavior, to change. One is desperation, and the other is inspiration. And in that my first experience at East Central, I really experienced both of those. Changing a routine out of desperation, and then somebody put a dream, a vision in my head, and that dream and vision was backed up by certain activity and routine. The second thing that I learned is that the dream and the routine are interdependent. You can never achieve a dream without a routine, and you will never have the motivation to do the routine without a big dream. And so that's what I'd like to talk about in my time left here, is the dream and the routine. What is a dream? What is a vision? We all get ideas that come in and out of our head. I believe to my core that some of those ideas and dreams are divinely inspired. Well, how do you know which ones? Which are the ones that you act on? And there's a great book that I read about 15 years ago that I think nailed it. It's by a guy named Andy Stanley, and it's called Visioneering. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it, especially you new about to be graduates. And so a dream or a vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction of what should be. A dream or a vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction of what should be. So how do we know which ones that are the ones that are potentially divinely inspired? Because I believe if you act on something that's divinely inspired and you put yourself in the middle of God's will, it's going to happen, right? So it's pretty profound that we have that ability with our Creator, who will help us identify which of those things are the ones that we need to pursue. So what do they look like? So it may be a divinely inspired dream or idea if when you first think about it, it takes your breath away a little bit and you think, I could never do that. That may be a divinely inspired dream. And there's a process that I think you can go through to get additional confirmation. So if after prayer and meditation, time in God's Word, talking to other wise counsel, gaining wise counsel, there's still a nudging in that direction, it might be divinely inspired. And that really ties into, you know, a lot of people ask me, believe me, there's a lot of people today that can't believe Craig Shieff started his bank. But that's how it started with me. And the real confirming thing, and Andy Stanley talks about this in his book, is if something starts out as an idea, a good idea, and then it doesn't leave you, it goes from being a good idea to being a nagging burden. And then it goes from being a nagging burden, and after you've processed it, it goes from being a nagging burden to not doing it would be akin to disobedience. You feel like you're being disobedient by not doing it. Then it might be divinely inspired. The last thing is it might be a divinely inspired dream if it involves using your unique, God-given talents in service to other people. Okay? Usually that type of stuff falls right squarely in the will of God, right? So that's the process that I went through in starting the bank. You know, God is a big dreamer. He's the biggest dreamer. He is a big thinker, the biggest thinker. And the other thing is, when you accomplish that, or he accomplishes it through you, there will be no doubt on who slayed the dragon. Okay? And that's where I stand right today, you know, with the bank that we have. You know, it's humbling, and I look at it, and I can't believe it. And I just know that Craig Shieff had the smallest of things to do with that. I can tell you, starting a bank in 2008 at the beginning of the banking crisis and being where we are today is divine provision. There's no other way to put it, okay? All right, so the last thing before we go on to the routine about the dream, and it's really important, I told you they're interrelated. When the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. When the dreams are big enough, the facts don't count. And that's hard for a lot of people to believe. You know, we've got well-intended friends and family that tell us, you know, don't get your hopes up. You got to get your hopes up, okay? And because it's not about you, what you can do, it's what God can do through you. All right, so let's talk about the routine. All right, another book for you guys here. One of my favorite authors is a guy named John Maxwell. He wrote a book called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He's got a great quote. It says, "You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. You'll never change your life until you change something that you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine." So it's the dream and the routine. So on the routine, over the course of your life so far, I bet you've been asked thousands of times, did you have a good day? And over the course of the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you'll be asked thousands of more times, did you have a good day? It seems like small talk, right? But it's really a profound question, because good days make good weeks, which make good months, which make good years that can change and transform and change the trajectory of your life, right? So it's a profound question. Can you say that you've had a good day if you don't know what a good day looks like? Probably not, right? And so what does a good day look like in terms of daily routine? Let me say this too. This is a fact. People of low to average IQ that know what a good day looks like will outperform and be more successful and have a more joyful, fruitful life than people of high IQ that don't know what a good day looks like. So can we all agree that knowing what a good day looks like is pretty important, right? First, it starts with a dream, as we talked about, because doing what I'm about to share with you is not normal. As humans, we fight inertia every day towards complacency. It's natural. It's like a car that's out of alignment. It starts pulling to the right. We all have a bent towards comfort and in our routine. So this is not normal, what I'm going to share with you. It starts with a dream. The dream needs to be time specific. So I want my bank to look like this 3 years out. Well, then I break it down into annual, monthly, weekly activities. Weekly forward-moving activities. All right, that's step one. Okay, the next step, again, this is not normal. Every Sunday evening, okay, dedicate 30 to 60 minutes for quiet time to do a mind dump of everything that you've got to get done, both, household stuff, things associated with your work, and those forward-moving tasks that are tied to your dream. All right? Then you prioritize them, A, B, C. You estimate the amount of time that it's going to take to do that task, and you get your calendar out and you schedule it. Okay? This seems so simple, right? It's time management. But I have to teach a class to our new credit analysts who come in from the University of Texas, from Texas A&M, from TCU, from SMU, and they don't know how to do that. And so I'm telling you, it's not normal, because without the dream, without that breathtaking dream out there, you're not going to do it, okay? The last thing that you do on Sunday night on your calendar of things to do is schedule the next day. Okay, so on Monday, you've got one of your to-dos is to schedule Tuesday. And that's really important because there's a lot, your parents can attest to this. You go to work, and President Pearson, I guarantee you can attest to this. You go to work, and if you don't have your day planned, then things are going to come up, emergencies are going to come up, the day's going to take over, and you're not going to get anything done, right? And so that's really critical, that the last thing that you do for the day, and then you do it. And you're going to be able to put your head down on your pillow. Anxiety is going to leave your body knowing that you got your day done and that tomorrow is planned. And I've got tomorrow taken care of too. And then a good day becomes a good week. And a good week becomes a good month. And your life starts to change and transform, and you start to enjoy some success, right? So again, what does a good day look like? It's fueled by divinely inspired vision or dream. It's built by a list of forward-moving, time-sensitive tasks. It's scheduled by priority on your calendar. It's not just a list in my head, okay? Of course, you guys can do this on your phones and stuff. That's what I do. But I started out with a sheet of paper. It ensures the next day has been planned and it's been completed. Okay, and this sounds like kind of goofy nuts and bolts stuff, but I'm telling you what works. I sat where you sat 32 and a half years ago today, and having people enforce that type of just sound information, it was important to me. All right, so we talked about once a tiger, always a tiger. And it's really, really easy to say that in a group of people. It's kind of fun to say it with a group of people. As we talked about, it represents loyalty, born out of a passion of appreciation. And it's easy to do it when everybody else is standing around saying the same thing that you're saying. But what do you do when nobody's watching? And I guess what I'm saying is this university has contributed to a lot to everybody in this auditorium's life, whether you have a son or daughter going here or whether you're going here. And I'm going to ask you to consider something. and it'll pay big dividends. So you go to the East Central University website and click on Foundation and find that area of the university that really kind of caught you, was there when you needed them, or they provided you a good education, or if you've received any financial aid, all right? But find that area and then set up a credit card debit for $5 a month. It's a doggone Starbucks, or maybe $10 a month, all right? And you will receive blessing tenfold for that generosity. Once a tiger, always a tiger, with something behind it, right? That's what loyalty looks like. That's what class looks like. So I just encourage you guys to do that, that we could build a culture of generosity here at East Central University, born out of a passion for appreciation. My deepest hope is that you'll realize what you've been given by East Central, and that we won't take it for granted. I also hope that in time you guys will continue to grow as big thinkers and big dreamers. My prayer for you is over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years that your life will be full of good days. Once a tiger, God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Shieff. Will the degree candidates for the Master of Education, the Master in Management, the Master of Science in Accounting, the Master of Science in Human Resources, the Master of Science in Psychological Services, and the Master of Science in Water Resource Policy and Management please stand? President Pearson, these candidates have completed the requirements prescribed by the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education for the forenamed degrees. And representing the graduate faculty, I hereby recommend to you that the degrees be conferred.
Graduating master's degree students, as president of East Central University, acting for and on behalf of the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education and the Regional University System of Oklahoma, I confer upon you the Master of Education, Master in Management, Master of Science in Accounting, Master of Science in Human Resources, Master of Science in Psychological Services, or the Master of Science in Water Resource Policy and Management degree, with all the privileges and obligations pertaining thereto.
Will the candidates on the north side please be seated? Candidates on the south side, proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. Mary Elizabeth Frazier. Felisa Carol Denton. Caitlin Lee Shepard. Sarah J. Baker. Donna Orlando Foster. Melissa D. Giacomo. Lonnie Ray Walters. Paige Lyndon Brown. Sasha Lachey Hogsted. Darren Brown. Cindy Lee Rambo. Kelsey Renee Eller. Kayla Renee Bradley. Olivia L. Carroll. Courtney Folsom. Lindsay Janae Logan. Lisa Nicole Todd. Molly Beth Henry. Randolph Rondale Howell. Margaret Dean Barber. Andrea Faye Shields. Peyton De'Ara Hokett. Lacey Alexandra Wenholm. Sydney Aurora Anderson. Stacy Jean Lothridge. Will the candidates on the north side please rise? Proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. Anju Pandey. Patricia Thapit. Ravi Sapkata. Priya Singh. Cho Lin Liu. Zhang Yang Hu. Chair Li. Adalikon Aluwali Adagoke. Kevin Wade Favre. Michelle Aline Matthews Smith. Lakita Ann Ely. Rhonda Sue Pritchard. Micah Rawls Foraker. Anna Pauline Osdenmore McKendry. Jessica Lauren Ward. Destiny Lee Graham. Swekcha Bista. Sushi Gamir. Michelle R. Blair. Christy Lynn Stanberry. Lori Marie Boren. Mariah Elizabeth Mullins. Jordan Marshall Hill.
At each commencement, there are students graduating who have earned an outstanding grade point average, both for total college work and work at East Central University. We recognize these students by indicating on their records that they have graduated with academic achievement, high academic achievement, or highest academic achievement. Bachelors with academic achievement have earned a GPA of 3.5 to 3.79. Those students are noted in the program of commencement exercises. Students, will you please stand as a group and be recognized? There. Thank you. You may be seated. Bachelors with high academic achievement have earned a GPA of 3.80 to 3.99. These students are also noted in the program of commencement exercises. Students, will you please stand as a group and be recognized? Bachelors with the highest academic achievement have earned a perfect 4.0 GPA. Please stand as I call your name and remain standing so that we can recognize you as a group. Allison Paige Bush, Christy Marie Campbell, Srijita Ghosh, Deanna Jo Rudisil, and Austin Walker. Thank you. Please be seated. The University Scholastic Honors Program exists in order to provide exceptional and challenging academic opportunities for undergraduates at East Central University. Throughout this enriched study, honors students must complete additional requirements and maintain a successful grade point average. These students are noted in the program of commencement exercises. Will you please stand as a group and be recognized? Honor students. There we go. You may be seated. Will the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Social Work, the Bachelor of Science and Education, and the Bachelor of General Studies please stand? President Pearson, these candidates have completed the requirements prescribed by the Oklahoma State Regents for higher education for the 4 named degrees, and representing the faculty, I hereby recommend to you that the degrees be conferred.
Bachelor's degree students, as president of East Central University, acting for and on behalf of the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education and the Regional University System of Oklahoma, I confer upon you the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Social Work, Bachelor of Science in Education, or Bachelor of General Studies degree, with all the privileges and obligations pertaining thereto.
Will the candidates on the north side please be seated? Candidates on the south side, proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. Pamela Denise Ware. Jessica Paige Hannon. Casey Diane Hare. Krista Luann Ellis. Alicia Ann Jett. Madeline Kate Limley. Jacqueline Lydia Johnson. Samantha Lamona Peterkin. Heston Thomas Bush. Audrey Pettyjohn. Jessica Elaine Fennell. Roberto Vargas Jr. Cesar Alexander Polo Gonzalez. Deborah Lee Schiller. Jamie Ryan Lang. Alicia Dawn Holman. Aruna Garung. Madison Camp. Sandy Maria Arroyo. Alexandria Shea Apela. Alexa Carly Leshai. Kristen Cobb. Ethan Lee Bird. Andrew Lane Willis. Jeffrey Wayne Britt. Catherine Marie Sindel. Kayla Marie Brikowski. Diana Etienne. Benjamin Charles Brownwhite. Anthony Marcus Mutri Jr. Lily Porsa. Adrian Guevara. Jessica Nadine Antimotanaka. Namish Podel. Ayush Rayamaji. Kiran Thapa. Ipshu Dakal. Melinda Rachel Valoy. Mary Catherine Woods. Amanda G. Lane. Megan Arlene Green. Caleb William Minton. Kelly Kuntz. Courtney Brianne Greenwood. Kelsey Cheyenne Babbitt. Taylor N. West. Sarah Elizabeth Rothrock. Vicki Lynn Demarius. Tiffany Christine Hacker. Caitlin Elizabeth Jesse. Brandon John Maja. Angelique Leah Rausch. Wow, sorry. Rachel Elizabeth Roller. Jessica Norma Venegas. Bailey Michelle Williams. Andrea Marrero. Lindsay Karen Bond. Betty Margarita Cruz. Adam Remington Daniel. Elise Marquardt. Annalise Wortham. Makara Dene Shaw. Elizabeth Ann Werner Keck. Aaron Taylor Ritter. Taryn Lynn Mills. Brooklyn Danielle Aslin. Kendall Lee McCarty. Shannon Nicole Halsey Morris. Sydney Shea Bartlett. Brooklyn Marie Cribbett. Alejandra Martinez. Wendy Jeanette Viezcus. Mariah K. Sanders. Kali Micah Don Wolf. Claude Lee Culp. Annie Marie Merritt. Timothy Sean Morgan. Kendall Nicole Carter. Kristen Ashley Salim McKinney. Morgan Starr Hendricks. Cheyenne Autumn Miller. Will the candidates on the north side please rise? Proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. Kenzie Nicole Johnson. Shemaine Ramidi. Henry Tyler Lear. Jessica Lynn Lear. Madison Morgan Taylor. Skylar Nicole Smith. Dongyong Shan. Xingran Yang. Ra Ling Pan. Deanna Jo Rudisil. Sarah Elizabeth Shores. Lacey Brianna G. Ty Jacob Jackson. Jim Gordon Bonstead. Stephen Coles Shelley. Connie Lee Ruley. Bhavini Kantilel Patel. David Ray Spradling. Lindsay Elizabeth Brianne Key. Sharon J. Yargi. Lindsay Taylor Wells. Christopher E. Mackey. Alex May Ballard. Patricia June Harjo. Megan Michelle Birchfield. This one, Casey Stedman. Casey Stedman. Jared Cole Campbell. Sarah Elizabeth Cole. Sarah Jane Johnson. Kayla Jane Gamble. Ryan Neal Bond. Kiani Francis Bowen. Jake Gregory Wellington. Christy Marie Campbell. Fendi Pierre. Landra Sue Nelson. Kaylin Taylor Hodge. Erica Liddell. Blakely Alexis Whitman. Kelsey Paige Morris. Tyson Montgomery Moore. Ryder McCaskill. Spencer Dam. Ryan Smotherman. Jeremy Reynolds. Justin Thomas Todd. Des Jackson. Amanda Michelle Woodrum. Cassandra Rochelle Pearson. Courtney Chantel King. Kiran Vatarai. Tanner Richardson. Subin Raj Shrestha. Brian Wade Fox. Weston Scott Haynes. Claudio Ezekiel Harvey. Jared Titus Kriege. Timothy Cole Kugler. Blade Colin Knox. Marcos Hilaria Juarez. Seth Neal States. Jamie Don Cowan. J.C. Ray Huckabee. Kirsten Elizabeth Fiddler. Brianna Michelle Scribner. Mackenzie Ray Scott. Christina Noel Stringer. J. Wesley Stafford. Dan Rowley. Sierra Dawn DeFalco. Lisa Fadzai Mawati. Gina R. Brown. Jelena Ray Walker. Sydney Rayanne Cavins. Brock Griffin Good. Chelsea Aubrey Heron. William Cale Ellis. Seth Christian Phillips. Allison Page Bush. Elizabeth Michelle Frederick. Dia Ghosh.
Students, you were presented earlier with an official ECU alumni lapel pin. It represents your new status as an alumnus of this university. Please wear it with pride. And welcome to your new role as an alumnus. Graduates, I ask that you please move your tassel from the right to the left, indicating your status as a graduate of East Central University. Your degree is a ticket to a life of learning. Use it well, use it often.
Will you please stand and join me as we sing our university's alma mater? You will find the words on the back of the program at the bottom. Hail, O hail our alma mater, loyal, brave, and strong. To thee with voices ever ringing comes our victory song. Love and honor, strength and courage, these we pledge on you. Hail, O hail our alma mater, hail, O ECU. You are dismissed.